being prepared, having your ducks in a row speeds up this process, because in our industry, sometimes we don't especially when you're dealing with an elevator and it's non-freight, on like, just say if it's on the drop-off end, customer, well, how many feet is it? 10. You get there like 30 football fields, Of course, it's just more time, and we know that. Instead, some people avoid the conversation, another moving company owner I was talking to, he was like, oh, I don't really tell them a time. I just tell them we bill by the hour. Like people bite that, you don't even give them an idea of, time, like 6 to 8 hours. You always leave yourself a window, I do it on my estimates. I leave myself, a couple hour window, because unfortunately in our industry, as all of you guys are in this, your day is subject to change right this second. Boom. You can be like, hey, I'm gonna be here sending emails all day. And I see Vernon out there sometimes out in the truck too, like myself. You know what I mean? And I got to get ready to go out here in a minute because I done fired quite a few people. But our life is subject, and I say this. So my father-in-law came to work in the warehouse for me, doing a lot of work in there. And he's 74 years old. He said, Philip, and he was a roofer his whole life. He said, you about to drive me to smoking cigarettes. I'm like, why? He's like, man, y'all schedule changes so much, because he gets the trucks prepared. Next thing you know, boom, everything's changed. No. Instead of putting that over there, put it over here. Da, 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 da. And this is every day. It ain't just like every now and again. Yeah. Everything's subject to change. Oh, not that guy over there. He go over here now. Well, you just told me. Yeah, I know. Just like that. And we're in a very tricky business, man. This is a very difficult business to run.
I feel that every day now. It's just like, God damn, no matter how prepared you are, it is stressful.
You get too busy. You ain't got enough damn guys. You ain't got enough work, guys. Crying, you ain't got too much. Oh, man, I got a life outside of this. You know what I mean? Just like 2 days ago, they were talking about, man, I need to work 7 days a week. Now I got a life outside of this.
That's so funny. Yeah.
But hey, can you let me borrow $8?
Well, the one thing I know that maybe
it's a day after,
very briefly.
After payday. They want to borrow
right.
Day after payday.
Damn.
Yeah, I know the one thing we talked about very briefly was the crew's expectation of the day. Like, oh, well, they were scheduled, the guys thinking they're scheduled for a short day, but maybe they'll be out there for 10 hours or whatever the case is. And these guys are all like, well, I got plans at 3:00. And you're like, well, damn, you just got the job at 10 o'clock. You were supposed to be there by 9.
Yeah.
So can you push your plans back an hour? Like, because now you're chopping in on that customer, but, and that's the thing that they don't inform us. We know that some of our employees might have nighttime shifts or whatever the case is at another job or whatever the case is, but we expect that, hey, you know what, if we told you to schedule in 48 hours in advance or even earlier than that, you tell us that, hey, you know what, I can't be there that long that day. Okay, you know what, we'll put you on a shorter job, open communication.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think definitely for this summer, I don't know what stresses y'all been going through. I know we all go through our own stresses in this business. Some are bigger than others. But I guess what are y'all doing to combat y'all stresses or things that's been coming up? I guess we could start with you, Vernon.
Oh, well, how you guys doing? My name is Vernon Owens. Let me introduce myself. I'm sorry, you guys. My name is Vernon Owens. I'm out of Dallas, Texas. I run Veterans Are Moving Us. I also have A1 Military Movers. How can I combat it? I do not schedule anything on Sundays. I used to schedule everything. I used to go Monday through Sunday, just go at it. But I take Sundays off no matter what. Also, what I do on the weekends, I hate on Saturdays, I try to take it off as well, but I just charge more, which is pretty good because when I charge more, I pay the guys more on Saturdays and they come out and they enjoy coming to Saturdays. So I don't have to worry about nothing because they just get everything together. And I have a good, right now I have a good crew. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but right now I have a good crew, good support system right now. It's still stressful times, but I learned that it's going to be stressful. You just got to learn how to deal with it.
Mhm.
Deal with it. Once I found out, once a whole top of my moving truck peeled off, that was a stressful thing. And some mover wrecked a Porsche. He ran into a Porsche. As I got through that, nothing else was stressful to me at all. So now everything's little I can just handle and manage.
Yeah. No, those are huge,
Yeah.
and having Fleetmatics on your truck and stuff like that, and
Oh,
seeing,
yeah.
some type of action. Like, I think last year sometime, I got an emergency alert like 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever the case is, or maybe even 9. And I hurried up and looked at the footage, and it was just like, I guess one of my drivers at the time just backing up, and all of a sudden he must have hit something, because the truck, when I say the truck rattled, it rattled. And I was like,
Ooh.
God damn, like, you're not paying
Right.
attention when you backing up? And like, I swore I could see your face looking at the mirror. What are you looking at?
Yeah.
And it's just that stress where you're just like, what the hell? Like, and it's going to cost you money, whatever he hit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That GPS system is really crucial, you guys, having GPS. I don't know if everybody has one, but having GPS system. And then also what I'm doing now is having the ring. So I have the portable ring on my trucks for the back of my trucks, and it records everything that's my movers are doing as well. I don't know if you guys had that yet.
You said ring? What?
So what I did was, Fleetmatics, you have this internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I used my ring that I got from Home Depot. I put it up in the back of the truck, and then I can record at real time what my movers are putting on the truck. For instance, if a customer says, "Hey, they left this on the truck," and we know that, hey, I look on the truck, everything's off the truck. For instance. Yeah, so that's one thing I did. That stops a lot.
What is that through now? What is that through? I'm writing it down.
So how your Fleetmatics, you have internet?
Yes.
Okay. So get a ring, just Home Depot ring. It's just a battery ring, and you just plug it up in the back of your truck, and you put the you put the Wi-Fi on it, and you can on your phone, your app, you can see the back of your trucks. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
No, that sounds good. I got one. It's like one of those. Is it one of those home camera type things?
Yeah, just one of those home camera ones. Get the ones that are just battery operated.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to put up you don't have to put up any kind of wires or anything. You just have to change the battery when it gets low. And
now you have to connect that to your data ultimately?
Yeah, to your Wi-Fi on your truck, because you already have Wi-Fi with the Fleetmatics. Because you have free Wi-Fi. Because remember, on your Wi-Fi, if you look in your Wi-Fi, you have free Wi-Fi already. So your truck comes with Wi-Fi, your truck is Wi-Fi, and you just add it onto your ring.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's that technology right there, because I'm like, they damn sure didn't give me the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah. But you got it, right? You know you have it, right?
It must be in some of my paperwork that they ain't
it's in there. Yeah. So that's one of my tricks I do too as well, because a lot of customers say, hey, the movers took this, the movers took that, so.
No, that makes sense. Because I always, one of the things I do at the end of the move is ask the guys, hey, did you make sure the truck was cleared out? Did you make sure this? And they're like, yeah, everything was cleared out. And
we make sure we try to make sure the customer walks the truck as well. Kind of look inside the truck and make sure everything's out. But you know how movers are, they in a rush to leave a lot.
Mm-hmm. Shoot, my guys, you give my guys the opportunity, between lift gates and ramps, they using the lift gate half the time. So I'm like, I don't even want the customer getting on no lift gate for that become a liability.
Yes, sir.
Like, they didn't push the button while I was going up. I wasn't even ready. God damn.
Hey, but Mac, I just want to say I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. You're doing your thing, man. You're training and everything. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, really, man. Thanks.
Yeah, because when in the beginning, everybody was hating on you a little bit. So, I really like that. They were hating.
So, but no, the only thing we can keep doing is just keep pushing forward. You know, at the end of the day, these conversations are motivational because we can kind of come together and build that value. You know, obviously this business is stressful. So having people like us come together and just have that conversation where it's just like, hey, let it out. You know, let it out. And you know, at the end of the day, there's other people that's going through the same struggles, and if we could provide them advice, it kind of helps us. You know, funny story is I told my I was speaking to my father the other day, and you know, I was trying to talk to him about my problems, but then he managed to go into his problems. And you know, and I commute about an hour and a half to you know, each way to work, which is a headache in its own. But speaking to him for at least a good hour, and he was just venting, and you just know one of those people that's just talking, and you just listening, and you're just like, I can't even get a word in. I'm just gonna let him talk. You know what?
Yeah.
And he talks for a whole hour and some change until I get to my front door of my house, and he's like, "Well, I hope your problems get better." Well, damn, I done forgot my problem. So I done forgot I even had problems. All right, you know what?
You know,
So
like, Vernon, it's
sir.
a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure,
And
pleasure to meet you as well, sir.
Yeah, and was super
Congratulations
cool.
on your first plane as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I look at this, and all you guys have golden pieces of nuggets, right? And it's up to people to pick them up or not. But ultimately, as we go through the process, you know, Vernon, I loved how you said it, was when you hit a really big stressor, all of a sudden all that other shit just doesn't matter.
Correct.
You know, you go through it and you go like, all right, I got this. And I'm glad you're proud of Dwight and respect Dwight, because you got in there. You got in your arena and you did your thing. And you're gonna have booers, haters, doubters, whatever you only get better by going through things though.
Yeah.
And Jim Rohn said, and I hold on to this because I've been married for 16 years, 2 kids, going into business, climbing the ramps, because we know we want to be the best. We want to give the best. We can't help ourselves. It's in our nature. And Jim Rohn says, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Yeah. And every time I get into something, that's the first thing I think, like, all right, I got to be better. I got to be better. Because it's not going to be easy. Life's not easy. Life's a bitch. It's hard. Yeah. It's a hard game. It's just like, all right, I can complain about how hard the game is, or I can get in the game and play it better than anybody else has played it.
Yes, sir.
That's what I focus on.
Yeah, and I think it's not staying stagnant. Yeah, like, you know, with this business, every day trying to say, well, hey, you know what? I want to be here. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And it's just, you're trying to stay at that level, and everything is just, you know, overwhelming you because you're afraid for that next level of growth is going to kill you. You know, like I mentioned last week, one of the things is, you know, for me, is having short-term memory. Yesterday was his own stress, and boy, was it stressful. And today is another day, you know, and I have to leave yesterday behind, because if I don't, it's no today, you know, because I'm still holding on to yesterday.
What did you learn from that stress, though, from yesterday?
You know, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I observed the situation that happened yesterday, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, you know what? We need to have a roundtable meeting. You know, we need to have that meeting where we can figure out, you know, because this isn't something that happened one time. If it was something that happened one time where, you know, let's say we quoted a packing customer and we brought the absolute wrong amount of boxes for this packing customer, and then it happened again and it happened again. Okay, well, hey, I know how to fix it. But if it's one of those things where out of the 100 customers we had, only one of the 100 customers actually had something that was off. Okay, you know what? Maybe that was just an error on our part. Maybe we can go about, you know, looking to see if that happens again in the future, you know, document it. But if it's something that's been happening consistently, like sales to operations bridge or gap, I think that now that's like, well, hey, you know what? We need to have a meeting. We need to figure out how can we bridge that gap, because basically if our guys are going out there and they're really doing a great job and the customers should be taking care of them, if, you know, everything goes as smooth as humanly possible, but they're not, the customer's not now because the customer's mad with the admin, that's a problem. And that's his own stress.
I used to have that problem. I'm not going to plug anything, but until I switched over to a different system where, you know, they write down and document everything. Now that I do that, I don't have that problem. Before, you know, I was answering the phones. I had my cousins answering the phones, and they wouldn't, you know, it was professional. But when I went to a different system, that problem kind of went away. Plus, you know, I had different levels. So admin, and then after the admin, it went to our moving manager, and that moving manager call the customer and get exactly what's going on. And then in the mornings, they'll call them again and just verify everything. And then also what I do is every day I call in extra guys, no matter what. So
I've been working on that too.
Yeah. So because I always say somebody's not gonna come in. I always say so. I'll call in 2 or 3 extra guys. If they don't go out, I have them working in the you know, cleaning trucks, you know, folding pads, working in warehouse, just doing anything they need to do if I don't need them. Sometimes, and then sometimes when the guys get to another job, hey, we need an extra guy, we'll send them out there. We have that people. So
how long do you keep those guys around, just in that off chance?
Well, most of the guys, I have a 2.5 hour move minimum. So they get it. They'll come in no matter what. They're gonna get paid 2.75. Sorry, 2.75. But then they'll stay longer because at my shop I have games. I have, you know, watch TV. Even when they don't, they off work. They, you know, if they in the mornings, they like, well, I'm just gonna sit around and just wait. I don't have to pay them after 2.75, but they're just probably watching a movie or something. I do that on purpose, just in case a job comes up in the afternoon and I still need them. And they're not really off, they off the clock. So I try to, you know, I got ping pong machine, video games, all kinds of little stuff. So I try to, I try to, work the system a little bit with them.
No, that's awesome. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I was doing that for a while before I left, and now I'm trying to incorporate that back. But it was like, oh, can we justify paying these guys that's not going out?
Yeah.
You know, but then it's like one of those things where I started saying, well, hey, you know what? If they just come in on backup and they don't go out, you know, maybe I'll give them 2 hours. Of course, that's unbillable time, but hey, we get a hell of a trip fee cost, you know, hypothetically speaking, you know, if we send in New York, it's weird, you know, obviously your trip fee is based on your hourly rate.
Yeah.
Now, so if I'm just throwing numbers out there, but let's say you sending out a 4-man crew for $300. And it's deemed, the trip fee is deemed 1 hour. You're going to charge the customer $300. So if you can't find 2 hours in there somewhere, that cost of maybe $25 an hour if you're paying your guys, $50 out of that $300 to pay those guys that's just on reserve, that's his own issue.
Yeah.
But you know, I was just thinking, like, dang, dude, what would I have them doing? You know, if all the trucks are out, it's a little tough because we don't have a big warehouse. But that thing that you just mentioned where you're like, well, hey, you got activities for them. They can watch TV. They can play ping pong.
Yeah. Then sometimes, you know, having some training videos, because like we have, like, you know, you get all these dang TVs from Moves and all this extra stuff. So I'll put them up and I'll have a TV going over with Sports Center, have a TV going on with some training. You know, they'll just get lost in there sometimes. So they get lost in there and they just and it's comfortable in there because you got some seats from a customer that is really some theater seats and stuff in there. So it's really comfortable in there. I try to got the candle going. I got some stuff going in there so they can just get lost in there.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I got a whole admin area now that I started going more remote with sales.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? I need to definitely be utilizing that space, make it cozy, make it relaxing.
Yeah. Make it like a locker room so they won't have to go. It's make them like, we don't have any alcohol in there unless, after after the moves, we like on Saturday nights, or Friday nights when guys are, about to go home, we hang out there for a little bit and, buy them burritos and stuff like that. But other than that, it's really a cozy place. I try to make it more mover friendly. I try to make it as much as I can because, out the wild, you'll find these movers that are users. You get rid of them, because I got rid of most of my user movers, and I got the ones that are just family now.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So most of my guys are average about 6 years or 7 years with me.
Okay.
So that's not too bad.
So what do you do? I know you got the 2.75 minimum ideally. So what do you do to keep their hours going for those guys? Because the worst case scenario is you get a 3 hour minimum, and hey, how many jobs are you stacking on that typically?
Oh, so it depends on, because we have a lot of high rises here in Dallas, Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a lot of people moving here. So it's hot right now moving it out here in Dallas or Texas, really. Most of the time I stack like 2 jobs. It depends on what jobs they have. So if they have a 1 apartment move, we stack 2 jobs on that truck. But sometimes we can get away with 3 jobs. So we have a 7 to 9 arrival time, 11 to 1 arrival time, then 1 to 3 arrival time.
Okay.
So we have 3 different arrival times. And then once those, so it gives them 2 hours to get to their first job. Because sometimes it depends on how hot it is in Texas. Some guys like to get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Some guys like to go get something to eat and get there at 9. But they'll call the customer beforehand and just say, hey, we're going to be there around 8, or they'll call the customer right when, because we have the guys show up around 6:10, 6:15. 6:30, you late. And then that's when I start docking people. So
yeah, no, that's early as hell. That's why I don't do I was trying to do this delivery services, and they was like, well, hey, we need your guys at the warehouse at 6 a.m. making sure they loaded up and out of the door by 6:30. And I'm like, yeah, about that.
So what time do you start in the mornings?
Shoot, we get our guys to the headquarters probably about 8 a.m. and get them out the door by 8:30.
Oh,
they get there about 9:30.
Remember, I'm military. Shoot, by 6 o'clock, we already finished. No, the reason why, because it's hot in Texas. So by noontime, man, in the summer, especially in the summertime, it's too hot.
Yeah.
It's too hot. Yeah. So, you got that Florida weather. It's really nice out there all the time. So,
man, we got in New York, you got winter and fall.
Oh yeah. So you're based out of New York, right? Or Florida?
Yeah.
I thought that's right.
I was in Florida.
You was in Florida.
Was living in Florida.
Florida 70 degrees.
Okay. I thought you was about an alligator. Was trying to get you.
But we all can't be like Cliff. I think you're in the desert, right?
Yep. Arizona.
What part of Arizona you in?
I'm Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. Okay. So my son is in one of my sons is in Scottsdale, and my other son is he's stationed at Yuma.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's the air traffic controller out there. So
oh man.
So I want to throw this out to everyone, audience, and us. You're one answer away from success. One answer away. And I bring this up because Dwight was talking about how his dad was telling him about his problems, and Dwight had problems, right?
Yeah.
Then Vernon asked him, so what's the problem? And he got to the heart of the problem, and he had a solution to the problem. And that's the thing is sometimes it's asking the question, am I talking to the right person about the problem that I have right now?
Oh, you caught that one. Okay.
No, it makes sense. And sometimes I think I was speaking to someone, I don't know who it was, but I was speaking to someone about a problem. And I'm like, yo, this drive me crazy, blah, blah. I'm talking it out and everything. And I'm like, you know what? You didn't even help, but I sure the hell did answer my own question talking this out.
Hey, Dwight, I wanted to ask you, you're doing a lot of stuff with the training and everything. How do you find time to do everything and be an owner? Because I look at you, I see you doing a lot of stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I can do that. Because remember, I emailed you before. I said, I started this. Remember, you first started. I said, I did this. I ain't gonna say the name, but I did this, and all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I got busy. So how do you find your time to do this and do that? Plus, open up a new office, because I know you opened up an office, correct? Or did you get the new office together as well?
So pretty much I've always had an office in New York because I had my original company there.
Okay.
But pretty much with juggling both came down to time management.
Okay.
And it's about block time. At the end of the day, you set time aside like, hey, you know what, 8 to 9 on Thursdays, this is where I'm at. Not focused on anything else. This is where I'm at. You tell everybody else that's around you that, feel like their problems is your problems. Hey, 8 to 9.
Yeah.
I'm on this. Let's set some time aside, like 9 to 10, and we can probably go from there. But you have to have strict block time where you're just focused on whatever you're focused on. Like yesterday, hey, I had a film shoot. So it's like, okay, you know what? I can't do anything else because between 9 till whatever time this film shoot ends, that's what I'm doing. After that, I can focus on other tasks. So everybody else's problems and concerns is not your problems and concerns or urgency,
Okay. All right.
But yeah, one of the things, like I said, if anybody goes to my website, maxmovingtraining.com, I actually have like video explanation on how to create your block time. As owners, it is very difficult because we're like, well, hey, we got kids to juggle that we got to worry about. We got, our business that we need to run. We got things that we maybe want to do. But it's just like, one, as owners, we got to find a work-life balance anyways. If you're working from 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 6, 7 at night and you're still not doing nothing besides that, oh, after 7 I'm just gonna rest because I got to do this all again tomorrow. It's just like, hey, what type of hobbies do you got? Do you play music? Do you play sports? Like, set some time aside to get that balance.
Yeah.
Yep. One of my favorite things, and it helps me go faster and it helps the people that I work with go faster. And I say who, not how. Because we're always looking, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I get this done? And it's, who do I need? Who do I need? Or who do I need to become? Because there's people who like chaos. They love it. There's people in the ER place who are just like, there's this, and then there's this, and then it's moving to this. And they thrive on that. They enjoy that. And some people, that's going to give them a heart attack. It's too much.
Yeah.
And so I go like, okay, who do I need around me? Because I can't be good at all things. It's not possible. None of us can.
Yeah.
But when we can say like, okay, who are the pieces that I put around me to make us all look good? When can we all look good together? And me and Dwight and some of the other guys, we got together and we started doing masterminds, and there's so much power behind them. Because now you get all of the minds coming together to create one mind and say like, okay, there is a solution to all of these things. Like, it's your team. It's your team. And Vernon, I'm already learning from you as you're telling me about your process and what you do. Like, I got a game room. I make it fun for these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap. Okay, that's really, really cool. Like, I'm going to kind of process that and put that together. I want you to meet Curtis sometime too. He's our systems guy. But I look at it and I go, when we come together and we look for solutions, we got this.
Oh yeah.
We got this.
Yes, and that's the thing. You can't incorporate everything. When I used to be in these other Facebook groups where, these high-end owners or so like that, and they were like, oh, well, I pay for this system and I pay for this process or this system. And you're just like, oh, that sounds good. But I'm only like, maybe I'm only 2 years, 3 years in. Maybe it's not that time for me to feel like, okay, well, I can jump 3 years ahead of my time or 4 years ahead of my time or whatever the case is, because, we're trying to implement too much that we just are not ready for.
Yeah.
So I feel like create a future idea folder where you write all these ideas down, or use your notepad on your phone, write all these ideas down, and maybe every year or every 6 months, revisit it and say, well, hey, okay, am I ready for this? Can I incorporate this without overwhelming myself?
Yeah.
And then kind of like go from there and just let that list build. Like, my list is ridiculously long right now. And I'm just like, you know what? I might not even like some of these ideas later on.
Yeah. Because one thing I like to tell guys, start the basics. Make sure your truck is ready. Make sure you have a checklist for your truck, because equipment, losing all this stuff. Because once you do a guide for everybody, for all the movers, and everybody follows it, it's a lot easier. Because when they get to I have an older guy. You said you have your uncle, right? Or is it your uncle that gets your fleet manager gets all the guys out in the mornings?
I think that was Phil.
Oh, Phil, I'm sorry. So I have my uncle and he has his friend. So I have two people, older guys, really good people. They always on time because they older guys, always on time. They come, they check the trucks, they give the checklist to the movers. Movers look at their checklist and then they make sure everything's on their truck, dollies, pads, equipment, and everything. And then they look at their phone, look at the customer, what they have, greet the customer, get in the truck, go have their breakfast, go do the move, come back. That's basically what we have at our system. So that's, if you have a routine like that, the movers are good like that. Once it's like chaos all over the place, if you don't have a routine for them, then these guys, they just like kids. I hate to say this, but they're just like kids. They all over the place. One guy's doing this, one guy's doing that. So that's what I try to do, is try to make sure they all doing the same thing, moving at the same beat, moving at the same time. It's just, it saves a lot of headache.
No, and it makes a lot of sense. It's one of those things where we try to make sure that, hey, like at times we had like let me plug in my charger for my computer died. Let's see.
Hey, Cliff, how long you been in Arizona?
I've been here since I was 7. I'm 42
Okay.
now. Yeah, so I basically consider myself native.
Okay, you a native?
Yeah.
So where are you from?
I'm originally from California. Yeah, I was
part?
born in Pomona.
Okay, I'm from Modesto, California.
Oh, very cool. All right.
But I lived in Phoenix. I lived in Phoenix for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hot.
It's really hot. Yeah, it's really hot. Yeah, I'd like to connect and learn more about you and your journey, what you're doing, because how long you been in the game of moving?
Since 2009, 2010.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
What got you into it?
Well, there's two stories, but yeah, there's one story. After we got from deployment, from a lot of my movers or a lot of my soldiers, a lot of guys didn't have a lot of money like they should. Like when they came back, the jobs wasn't there when they came back from deployment from the military. So I was like, all right, guys, let's start doing some stuff on Craigslist and start moving on the weekends and just start doing it. So at first we would call us, it was military movers. Like we would just had a name out there. So we would go out there and move stuff and just move anybody. And then after a while, I just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And a lot of my guys like, okay, I found a job, I'm leaving. I found a job, I'm leaving. And I was the only one left. And I was like, all right, I need to change my name. So that's why I got Veterans Are Moving Us. So, at first it started off just helping the military guys, a lot of guys, just having guys together, because when you come back from deployment, everybody's not together no more like they usually do. So we all get back together, hang out, and just start doing stuff like that. So I had a lot of lieutenants, a lot of lieutenants and some captains, working with me. A lot of these guys, they're gone now, but they still come back and say hi every once in a while.
Oh, they didn't try to pull rank?
Oh no, man! I was their boss, But I was E7, so I was an E7 anyway. So yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, but I had a lot of guys that, a lot of military guys, even just wanted to get some extra money on the side as well. So it was a so ever since then after that it just started, the money started coming in Texas, and I was like, holy moly, I can do this. I'm staying in here. So I have about, I think like 15, 16 trucks now. I have a location in Houston, 2 locations in the DFW area. It's just a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I commend those, like, because I was to that point where I wanted to expand and do multiple locations, but I commend those that actually do, because I feel like, running one location is its own headache, especially with these guys crying every day, about something. And, and now you're like, well, damn, now I got 2 locations like this, and it's like, you're trying to get your systems and processes. You're trying to tighten up. You got all this written down, like thousands of processes and procedures. Now it's just like trying to hone all these people back into it. Where it's
sometimes, sometimes you're your own problem. So,
Mhm.
at my Houston location, I have a family member that's really good running that location. So all the stuff that I was really strict. I wanted to be really strict on here, but it's kind of, I got a lot of these movers are grandfathered in because they know me, but they are down in Houston, they're super strict. So Houston, they do a lot of different things, and she is running that tremendously. You know, she gets it done. She's like a whip.
So
So I have no problems. Only time she calls me is just say, hey, you know, the money's in that account. That's it. I'll be like, all right, cool beans. You know.
And I was the same.
Vernon said, sometimes you're your own problem.
Yeah.
I say all the time, you're your own problem. Just be like, all right, am I hanging out with the wrong people? Am I working? Do I have the wrong employees? Do I have the wrong name?
Yeah, because my sales reps, because I'll be on the phone sometimes, I'll be like, all right, let me try this, call this customer up. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna give you this deal. My sales rep be looking at me like, why are you giving them a deal? Like they want to play the full price. You know, but me thinking back like when I used to, I need that move. What you want? Okay, I'll give you that. No problem. Okay.
Yep.
And, you know, and I close it. But my sales rep's like, hey, I already have it. You know, you don't have to do no deals or anything. They're gonna pay what they pay.
Yeah.
Well, at least y'all can do that in Arizona and Texas and Florida. New York is, you better not offer no deal. We're gonna penalize you. I'm like,
what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Like we can't offer discounts or anything like that in New York, you know, with full service moves. Nope.
That's weird.
You know, it is what it is. I think
So do you guys have a standard price out there? Like, are your prices cheaper than other people? Or how
you have a tariff and you have to mark your rates in the tariff.
Yeah. Okay.
So as long as you could charge whatever you want, as long as it's reported to the state that you're going to be charging that. And, you know, and that's kind of like how it works. But I know in like southern states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, you have a max rate tariff that you can't charge above.
Yeah.
So here it's just like, hey, you know what? If you want to charge, let's say $360 for 2 men and one truck, you can. Whether somebody pays for it or not is up to you.
But you can't go down?
You can go down too. You can charge whatever you want. But,
okay.
You know, you could charge what is it called? An after hour rate, you know. So hey, after 5 p.m. we charge time and a half.
Okay.
You know, I've dabbled with that, and I feel like some customers don't agree to that. You know, it is like, well, damn, I didn't tell you guys to work beyond 5 o'clock. Now you're gonna charge your time and a half after 5 o'clock.
Oh, so how do you do it on holidays? Do you charge different on holidays?
I have the option to, but I usually don't. I try to keep my rates consistent because, you know, consistency is everything, especially when the sales team is, you know, looking to sell something and they're not paying attention to the calendar and they're like, well, hey, you know what? We're going to charge you this. And you're like, well, no, remember, we got the holiday rates and people not remembering. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just stay consistent across the board. I might go up on the weekends, like you mentioned. That's been something that's been in my ear. But we only work on Saturday. So I'm like, damn, do we really need to go up to one day? Like, you know, so I guess I'm being confused on that.
So in your system, can you, like, when they put the prices in, does it automatically goes to that price point? Like in my system, they put it in, they put, you know, March 6th. On March 6th, I'm charging more because it's a holiday or something like that. It automatically goes in there, so they can't change it unless they manually change it. So that the sales rep sees that, okay, well, it's a holiday. It automatically, you know, why is the price like that? And they look at it and like, okay, I can't, you know, it's a holiday.
No, that makes sense. We got a system. We have a system that allows it to auto calculate the rates, the estimates and stuff like that. And likelihood, we probably could put override a certain day or whatever the case is. I think that because we use two calculators, because even though we use a software that auto calculates, is one of those things that if we sometimes that doesn't come out accurate enough. So
Okay,
we
okay.
have to use I have an offline calculator that I use like on Excel.
Okay.
And I have my team go through that I've mastered, and I'm like, well, hey, you know what? This is what you need to charge, and then just put that into the system to make sure that the system match.
Okay.
So so with that form, that Excel sheet, obviously that's just a general Excel sheet. It's not going to change based on the day.
Okay. I got you.
But no, so I guess what has been your biggest go-to with marketing?
Marketing, you gotta remember, I'm more word of mouth. I don't advertise. I'm more word of mouth, networking. One of my things is out here is I cater to the D, the C, the celebrities out here. So that when I cater to the celebrities like the Dallas Cowboys, the hot Instagram people, models out here, I cater to them, and then it triples down to everybody else.
Nice.
So they say you'll see that, you'll see it on TV. I mean, I see it on my Facebook or something like that, on my other Facebooks. You'll see, hey, Verna just moved Trayvon Diggs, or I moved Dak Prescott. So I move all these different people, and that's how I get customers. It's more word of mouth. The realtors, the celebrity realtors, I move all of them, and then I use their customers. I get their customers. So I don't really advertise.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
Like Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. Yeah, like I put up stuff like that, but I don't pay for advertising.
Okay, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking, like, I've always wanted to be like in a area where there was a professional sports team. Like we are in between right now, the Giants and the Pats. So it's just like, and the Buffalo Bills is in its own little quarter too. So I'm like,
yeah,
damn, like, why are we just smack in the middle? Like, can we go on either side?
So
like,
what town do you live in?
So we're in Albany, the capital of New York.
Capital of New York. Okay. So how do you go out and network?
So right now, between just general networking, going to networking events and stuff like that, if not networking that way, then, hey, we got all the marketing sources that, are out there for the most part. Except for Google Guaranteed, I don't think we're touching that area yet. And maybe later on we will, but when it's just as expensive as Google Ads, you're just like, God damn.
What about, do you see on Facebook, okay, where's the hottest realtors in your area?
That is a good question.
So your hottest, yeah. So you get all the hottest realtors in your area, and you look at that like, oh man, look at that realtor. Oh, he's always on Instagram. You see all these people, or you see him or her doing really good. You try to reach out to them and you try to network with them, and then you see the realtors that are doing the celebrities and all that. That's the ones you hit up, and you try to be where they at, and you talk to them, and that's what I did. Like, you talk to them and just keep talking to them, and then eventually you move them and you got them. And then they refer their customers to you, because if you do a high-end job and they know, they'd be like, oh, they like the brag too. They'd be like, hey, I got to move her on speed dial. Boom, they call me up, and I answer the phone. Hey, Verna, I need you to move this guy. And that they want to impress their client, because they have everything already at a touch, when they need something, they have it. So they like to impress their clients like that. So, try to go out and talk to celebrity movers and celebrity realtors and all these good hot realtors that are just out there getting it done.
You're gonna make me Google celebrity realtors, because I'm like,
get the celebrity realtors, but not only celebrity realtors, but get the ones that are really out there. Like, you can see that they're grinding. If they're grinding, you get them. Just start talking to them.
Gotcha.
So that's what the realtors, the apartments, the high end apartments. What I do is I go over there and talk to them, talk to the concierge, talk to everybody, get a rapport with them. And the concierge is really good because, take them out to lunch, get them something in concierge because they always talking to the concierge, oh, here's a moving company. You need, oh man, the customers are always talking to them. So they're like, hey, I got a moving company for you. So
no, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we are at the top of the hour.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Cliff, anything you want to say before we take off?
This was an awesome episode. Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting Vernon. This dude's amazing. Like so many
Thank
nuggets in there.
Yeah. I
And
got
I'm
some
gonna
more.
be talking to some celebrity. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking to some celebrity realtors probably
man.
when I get off this because I'm looking to grow Arizona Reliable Movers.
Tell
Dwight,
Phil.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said, Dwight, keep crushing it like you always do. You keep bringing amazing people into the podcast. So, hey, if you're not tuning in or you haven't tuned in, make sure to get on this, share this out, let people know this is blowing up because I'm excited for the opportunity and whatever everything's going on. Movers unite.
Yeah. I'm gonna get Phil because I know he probably out there doing something. But Phil came down here. Phil came down here and worked with me for one time. He came out here and we were working together. So he met some of my guys and we had a good time out here with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
So all right, everybody.
All right.
So again, thank you again, Vernon.
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely have you on another series. And for everybody else, again, if you go to my website, maxmovingtraining.com, I do have a resource guide. So if you want to know who's some vendors to use, such as, CRM guys, we got accounting services, recruiting services, whatever you may need, hey, I have the free resources on my site. So you ain't always got to pay. You just got to you just got to go to the site. And enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and we will see y'all next week.
Happy Military Month.
All right, y'all.
Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Bye.